May 16th, 2023, the build to the next NXT pay-per-view Battleground. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast, NXT edition. I am Glenn Rubenstein, joined by Alfred Konuwa, and Issa is on her way. She's resetting a power breaker.
If you stare hard enough, you'll be able to see her in the center. I know it's a small, it looks like it's just me and Glenn, but if you look hard enough, you'll be able to see Issa in the center of that little tiny frame there.
Yes, it's like a magic eye. But Alfred, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. Feeling good. The playoffs are on. The NXT, of course. It was a show, but I have no complaints. What about you?
I am tired, man. I went to a casino last night at midnight on a Monday to an off-strip casino in Vegas to do my gambling. And
shout out to Santa Fe Station.
Yes, Santa Fe Station, where it's always popping off on Monday night. Like there were maybe 30 people in the entire casino.
Wow. Well, that's good though. You get your time to yourself, and you don't want it to be social hour at the casino. You want to get your shit done.
You find that video poker with a progressive payout that nobody is on, and you just say, like, I'm gonna just ride this till it pays. It's gonna be awesome.
I know if you're a blackjack fan, there's nothing you hate more than when their casino is crowded and some noob comes to your table and screws up the whole count.
It's true. It's true. You know, and those $5 tables get crowded, man.
I'm sure.
I could go to Aliante. That's a nice casino, but that's like 10 or 15. No, Santa Fe, $5, keeping it real.
And I'm sure the drinks are cheaper too, right? So, I mean, more bang for your buck.
I mean, hey, man, if you're high rolling on a Monday night, you're getting comped, baby.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's good times. Drinking with me with my Michelob Ultra. You know, it's only got 2.6 grams of carbs. Lovely. Anyhow, yes, I was up. I was up like $100, so it was good. Good times last night.
It's awesome.
Good time. Might have to go back tonight. I don't have a problem. My wife's out of town. I have nothing to do. So, you know, it's either that or hit up Chicos Bonitas or, you know, some other gentleman's club.
It's not a problem until you start gambling your mortgage. Yeah. Only then is it a problem. Anything up to the mortgage, you're fine.
I'm gonna go to the sports book and be like, let me bet on wrestling.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. It's not really working for WWE in terms of legalizing it. They're getting told no by everybody.
It's such a dumb idea. It's such a dumb idea.
In so many ways. I think the only issue that all 50 states are unified in this country, should gambling be legal in wrestling? Because WWE is running to, I think 13 different states have told them no now.
I mean, why don't we just bet on what's going to happen on Succession?
Oh, that'd be lit. I'd gamble on that.
Yeah.
What are the Logan Roy comes back from the dead? Is that plus 20,000? Spoiler, not that nobody knows anything, but you know.
I'll put $1 on that just in case.
Yeah.
You know,
it'll be a
what are the odds Cousin Greg is running Waystar Royco by the end of the season? I think that's like 5 to 1. Yeah, it could happen. It could happen. Oh, man. So what's going on in the world of wrestling?
Well, in the world of wrestling, let's start with the new name for WWE and UFC. We are now, Glenn, in the era of TKO. This is the TKO era. I know there was a name, I believe it was New Whale Inc. that was floated around in terms of what the umbrella company would be after Endeavor bought WWE and now owns WWE and UFC. But as an homage to the combat sports world and the term TKO, technical knockout, this will be the name of the new group between WWE and UFC merged. It's TKO Group Holdings. What do we think about this? Do we like it better than the Whale, Glenn?
Tony Khan owns.
Oh,
owns
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's foreshadowing. Him and his dad going to take it over.
They wouldn't have to change the initials.
Yeah, right there. Good
so
time.
there's still hope. Yeah. Tony did try to buy WWE. He was trying to get involved in that. So now that his initials are there, maybe it'll fire him up more. Hey, they're going to get a nice big bag. We're going to talk about that pretty soon. Maybe he could put some of that money behind and hope for the future.
Yes. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. This merger is going to be interesting. I did buy a little WWE stock when this all was closing. I'm very curious to see what the new company will do.
Yeah, if they have the effect on WWE positively that they have had on UFC, there's no reason to believe that WWE stock won't continue to grow. I'm pretty bullish on what Endeavor could do. think a lot of the smartest people are the people who bought WWE stock maybe right before the pandemic.
Oh my God, no! Like 20. I remember when Tough Enough, the last season of Tough Enough, WWE stock was like $15.
Yes.
And I remember it went up to 20, and I was like, too rich for my blood. And I think I bought like 3 shares of it at $90.
Wow.
A couple
Very
months
impressive.
ago. Yeah. No, I've made like $30-$40.
Yeah, and there's a lot of growth for the stock too, from 15 to 90, and now it's well over 100. And because the word on the street, these rumors of WWE being sold, these were pre-pandemic rumors, and even the idea of WWE negotiating, I think, was the ideal time to buy a stock. I went on this very podcast. One of my first experiences with Wrestling Inc. was I went on Nick Hausman's podcast, Just the House of Wrestling, and I said, buy WWE right now. And I think this was in 2019. And I mean, now WWE stock is well over $100, and who knows where it could go in terms of Endeavor taking a vested interest in this, because I think it's going to go up.
It's actually funny. I bought it when the Saudi rumor was happening, and it's funny feeling like the quote unquote dirt sheets know something Wall Street doesn't. Like that was a really weird feeling, and it was weird even to see after the merger was announced, and we all were talking about it. The stock didn't get its bump till like 4 or 5 days later when Wall Street was like, "Oh, hey, this might actually." Be good for the company. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, very much so.
What is this going to mean for Warner Brothers stock with this AEW? God, I mean, it's really funny. I'm surprised. People talk about different indexes you can buy based on things, but I'm surprised. I mean, you could kind of have a little bit of a combat sports vertical between TKO. You could say, well, Warner Brothers, NBC Universal. You could kind of look at these different entities and look at how wrestling impacts their business. And this is not financial advice, but yeah, you could read Wrestling Inc., look at the news, and say, what's this going to mean on the street? How's this going to affect the price? CM Punk's coming back. Is that going to bump WBD stock? Probably not, but it's fun to speculate.
I don't think any one thing that happens with AEW or transactionally will bump their stock. I think this is a long-term vision. WBD is a nightmare right now in terms of economically. They're just trying to get above water and stay afloat after taking on all these costs and this big merger. They're cutting billions of dollars. But the good news for AEW is going to be a focal point of this new WBD. In terms of moving forward, in terms of building around product. AEW is cheap property that does very well in the ratings, and that's what they need. They need profitability, and so there really looks like doubling down on AEW.
And honestly, couldn't come at a better time with the writer's strike, because they're going to need content. And who writes AEW? Nobody knows. They're not part of a union.
Nobody knows. Nobody does. They don't do that. Everything's unscripted, so they just set everybody out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they do have a loose script or whatnot, but they are not known for their prominent writing as AEW.
You don't think QT's in the WGA?
I don't think they'd let him in there. I don't think he'd be allowed.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it is kind of shady that WWE's like bragging about like our writers aren't union. They're not in the Writers Guild. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, you better not tell on yourself.
Yeah,
they can create some problems for themselves.
Oh, it would kind of be awesome if they were.
Yeah, they really should be.
Yeah. I'll eat all 3 of my shares in WWE if they unionize the talent and the writers, just to see. Like I'll ride that nose down. Worth it. Worth every penny.
Martyr. I think Zelina Vega would appreciate.
Did she change her tune on that? Has anyone asked her about that?
No,
I think when you interview her, you need to ask her and say, you had a very provocative tweet a couple of years ago about supporting unionization. How have your thoughts evolved on that?
She'll be like, well, that was AI, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Right?
I think she's still strong in her stance. She still follows me. That's
she's still strong in that stance.
Yeah, I think she's just not saying it as much.
Her and Andrew Yang, they're gonna solve that problem tomorrow.
They're getting together behind
Yang Gang. Hashtag Yang Gang.
One of these days. But it is the forever problem with WWE unionization, of course. And somebody who also has been having problems, Glenn, is AEW Rampage. The forever problem with them has been getting yeeted for one-time slot.
The forever problem.
Yes, because this has lasted forever now, where they've been in one-time slot after another, including this past weekend. Their go-home show for Double or Nothing is going to be in another time slot. And this past Saturday Night Rampage drew the worst number in the history of AEW Rampage, which, as we know, is a very low bar, 284,000 viewers. Them's power slap numbers, a 0.07 rating. and 18-49. So AEW, whether it's in its time slot or not, just going against the NBA playoffs is going to be a monster. And AEW Rampage is a show that not even the hardcore AEW fans are supporting. It's going to be a tough sled for AEW Rampage moving forward, in or out of its time slot, Glenn.
Isn't it amazing how that show started as now we are in the AEW Empire era, and now they're franchising and they're expanding and they're doing multiple nights, and CM Punk is back and we got this hot show, to now it is the Sunday night heat of AEW.
Yeah.
And it's all about Saturdays.
Saturday is definitely going to be, at least initially, and this is what we saw with Rampage, is it's going to be treated as a hot commodity. My fear is if the ratings start to soften and people start viewing it as a B show, will Tony Khan double down and try to make it more of an A show and try to load up the town? Or will he do what he did with Rampage and just kind of let go? Because before Rampage was rendered lame duck by Collision, for I would say a good year before this even was announced, Rampage was seen as a B show and nobody cared.
Yeah, you didn't need to even tell, like, no one even needs to state that. Like, we could see just by the booking and I mean, how many weeks was Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends in the main event, and there was some sort of interference? Like, they were just like, AI was writing and booking these matches for the better part of the last year, and not even good AI. They couldn't even afford Chat GPT.
Yeah, not even like number 3 for the Philadelphia 76ers, Allen Iverson, like bad AI, which I think Allen Iverson might be able to write a better show than Tony Khan at this point.
They were using a Magic 8 ball. And I mean the kind you hold in your hand, not the other kind.
Oh, that's what I thought. I don't know what 8 ball you're talking about.
A Magic 8 ball was booking the show.
Are there rumors about that? I didn't know.
No, but that's pretty good though. Why have I never heard that joke be made ever in my life? Of someone saying a Magic 8 ball and somebody assumed it was the other kind of 8 ball.
Yeah, well, that has been copywritten because it's a perfect analogy for AEW in terms of how that joke could be misconstrued with one Tony Khan.
There you go. Work that into your stand-up act.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll say allegedly though. I don't want anybody suing me. I'm not making any type of allegations, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I am not intoxicated. I am drinking a lemon perfect. This is hydrating water. It's very tasty. Very tasty water.
When are we going to get the return of White Energy?
I have one can of White Energy left. They've changed the name to Silver Energy out of sensitivity.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on. No, you got to double down on that. They had to have seen this coming. We'll change the name
Amazon's generic house brand has a red energy drink and they had a white energy drink. And it's just this big can that says White Energy. And I bought this thinking, oh, this is so cringy funny, and it tastes fine, but they changed the name to Silver. Silver Energy.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. See, that's something I got to work in my stand-up act.
Yes, White Energy. Kelvin R. Alexander, $2. Give Sarah Bear, Lash, and Jakara all the belts.
Yeah, and I think Noam Dar will be very happy about that. He has a type. That's what we'll get into tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say, someone backstage is very self-aware.
I'm telling Dr. Umar Johnson on Noam Dar if he starts dating Lash Legend. Dr. Umar will not have any of it.
Love is love.
I think
knows no color. Alfred.
I think they'd make a very cute couple, and I think Noam Dar is phenomenal in his role. And I think Noam Dar is exactly what Lash Legend needs right now.
Perhaps.
So, hello.
What's up, Issa?
What else? Issa, good to see you. How's the power situation?
I don't know. You might lose me again, but we'll see what's going on. Keep you guys posted.
Okay. Let us know what's going on. The word on the street in Puerto Rico.
Listen, Puerto Rico problems,
I mean, some truth. So what else is going on in the news?
Our final story is we talk about Puerto Rico problems. Well, let's talk about America problems that maybe Seth Rollins could solve, because is being assumed that Seth Rollins, according to WRKD Wrestling on Twitter, has landed a gig in the next Captain America movie. He has an apparent role. This is why we saw pre-taped interviews with Rollins last night with Corey Graves. And Seth Rollins, which would be a major role. I don't know what his role would be, but he's going to appear in the Captain America movie upcoming. Are you excited about this, Issa?
Of course I am. I mean, he's wore a lot of gear inspired by Marvel characters. I'm super happy for him. Let's not forget he had a breaking role in the all-time classic Sharknado. So this is not Seth Rollins' first, walk in the park. I'm excited for him. I'm super happy every time I see wrestling go mainstream. It does nothing but help.
It's interesting he never had a lead in a WWE Studios film, much like Dean Ambrose in 12 Rounds 3 Lockdown.
Yeah. Well, those movies were robbed of Oscars, by the way. Dean Ambrose should have.
Lockdown was good, man. 12 Rounds 3?
Yeah.
Now, he only had 12 rounds in his gun, and it all took place inside an office building. That was the hook this time.
So we had to use the rounds wisely. Is that what it was?
Yes.
He was budgeting the rounds that we wanted
sparingly.
To kill?
Yes, very much so. It's like the Chris Rock routine about making, bullets more expensive. So you use them sparingly. It's bullet control. It was like that, but with Dean Ambrose. Because when you think of Chris Rock, Dean Ambrose, logical conclusion. No, I think, okay, so Seth Rollins is rumored or speculated that he's playing a member of the Serpent Society and a character by the name of Viper.
Wow.
Coincidentally enough. So I love to see how WWE addresses that without having to constantly mention Randy Orton each time.
Yeah, Randy Orton must be pissed. Hey, he's been in a WWE Studios movie. Why not give the Viper role to him?
12 rounds, 2, yes. So originally they wanted CM Punk for. Why do I know this?
I know this too, yeah.
My baby brother, his birthday, I can't remember if it's May 25th or May 26th, but I distinctively remember CM Punk was almost in 12 rounds 2 as the star.
Oh, I still remember that and my brother's birthday. Shout out to December 4th, which is also the same birthday as Jay-Z.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun. And get used to seeing this, by the way. Get used to seeing these WWE superstars in these big movies. They have all of Hollywood owns WWE now. Between Ari Emanuel and Nick Khan, that's all of Hollywood. And so if they want to be in movies, they're going to get in movies.
Yeah. I mean, crazy that Seth got it before Becky did.
Yeah. And I was hearing that Becky was rumored for a role in a Marvel movie. Did they ever announce that?
Not that I'm aware of. There's a really great like Marvel Studios rumors on Reddit. There was an old one that was called Marvel Studios Leaks. They had to shut that down because Marvel threatened to sue after they leaked so much of the Ant-Man sequel. They blamed that for its box office failure. Kind of crazy.
Nobody has any patience anymore.
I know, it's weird though, right? Because it's like I want to know, but I don't want to know, but I kind of want to know. It is what. In fact, I would say Marvel fans and DC fans, like that's up there with pro wrestling fans when it comes to speculation.
It's the same goddamn thing.
It's the same thing.
The dynamic between how they hate each other, how there's, it's the same thing.
No, you know how I get advertisers interested in wrestling? Like, because they're like, why should we care about wrestling? I'm like, one, it's a very good demographic, but it's where like the sports nerd and the comic book nerd meet in the middle is professional wrestling.
Oh, yes. That's a good point. Never thought of it.
Closest thing we get to real life superheroes.
Yeah.
Phoebe is saying, Becky was up for a role in the Eternals, the only Marvel movie that I almost fell asleep during, the Eternals.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't hear good things about that. I'm very excited for Anthony Mackie in the Captain America movies, though.
Yeah, he's gonna be awesome. Anything else in the news?
Nope, that's your news.
There you go. That's all that's happening in the world. Oh, Matt Hardy got his Twitter account back.
Oh, good for him. I heard he was hacked and Stokely hacked away, was hilariously trolling him, but all is right with the world. I bet you she's sick. I bet you he's sick Rebby on them. That's what happened. Rebby went to Elon Musk's office and within 5 minutes, he's like, okay, I'll give his Twitter back.
Yes. So NXT tonight, we are on the road to Battleground, which will be happening opposite Double or Nothing.
Yep.
At the same time. You could set up two TVs next to each other.
Saturday
Not even
Night
picture
Wars.
in picture. Just two televisions. And watch them together.
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be good. Do you think people... I mean, no. I was going to say, here's the funny thing, though. I bet you there'll be people at NXT on their phone watching AEW. I don't think there'll be anyone at Double or Nothing on their phone watching Battleground.
Yeah, I think it's a safe bet. You never know.
That's the difference in the type of fans that watch each show.
They might have time to watch Battleground since we only have 2 matches made for Double or Nothing.
Yeah. It'll go ahead with the pre-show.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, NXT tonight coming to you from Florida. We had more going on in the women's tournament. We had an excellent return to form with Tony D'Angelo's promo segment.
Yes.
We had more build up with Braun and Melo, and we opened tonight with Cora Jade versus Fallon Henley in a quarterfinals match for the NXT Women's Championship tournament. Cora Jade getting the win, pretty predictable. Poor Fallon, she lost her tag team partner. She kept the family bar, but now here she is losing to Cora Jade.
But at what cost?
At what cost?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Issa, what'd you think of this match?
As predictable as it was, I thought the match was fun. I thought both of them, did well. The predictability factor did take away a little bit of interest when I was watching it. But overall, I thought both of these women looked great. And yeah, I had a feeling Cora Jade was going to make it to this round. So nothing surprising there.
Good opening to the show, though.
Yeah, not the greatest match of all time, but I mean, we don't expect that in NXT. But I'm pleased that Cora Jade won. That what I like about this tournament is there's a lot of favorites. There's multiple people I could see winning this tournament, which usually isn't the case with wrestling tournaments. But I could legitimately see 3 or 4, between Cora, Roxanne, and Tiffany Stratton. I could see them going either of those directions.
Well, because with all these changes, it's like they've shaken up the snow globe, and now we have to see how it settles. Right. We don't know what the exact hierarchy is. And I think it's exciting because if you would have asked me if you would have said 3 months ago, hey, they're going to do this tournament. Like if you would have asked me right after Roxanne lost the championship, I would have been like, oh, Roxanne's going to get it back. But now I don't know. And that's exciting. Yeah. Issa Sophie Dofi is throwing it down by saying it'll be interesting to see how many YouTubers do Battleground and AEW watch-alongs at the same time.
I'm going to be doing it. So
there you go.
I'll be following both as well, but I'll be watching Issa's watch along. How about that?
Wow.
That's an inception right there.
So decent match to open the show. Lyra Valkyra then was at ringside staring down Cora Jade. Who do you got between Lyra and Jade, Alfred?
Hopefully Cora Jade. I mean, Cora Jade, they really need to start getting behind and pushing. I feel like she was lost in the shuffle during WrestleMania season because she really wasn't on TV, and I think Cora needs to win this match.
Issa?
I don't know, because I kind of want Tiffany to move on to the end, and I don't see them doing 2 heels.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing 2 heels, so I'm not sure that we get Cora and Tiffany for the final round. So maybe that means that we get the rematch between Roxanne and Cora, because I feel like common sense says Cora wins this match. But if it's Tiffany's turn, I just don't know that we go with 2 heels on the final round. So I'm actually very interested to see how the matches go next week. I don't feel like next week feels as predictable as this week felt.
Well, backstage, Thea Hale was there and had an exchange with Kiana James. Will Kiana James try and buy Chase University? Because that seems like the next natural storyline for her. But
how much do you think that they will sell it for? Well, all 3 of us should go in and
Chase
do a little investing. Yeah.
We go to Santa Fe Station, we come up about $200, $300, and then we put in a bid.
I traded my $300 in WWE stock.
I have a couple $100 in WWE stocks too. I'll put it out there.
There you go. Yeah, we'll use that as collateral. Yeah. I think we take over Chase. You maybe give a royalty to Andre Chase, just so he's still wetting his beak on every diploma we sell.
Comes out of your cut. I'm not giving nothing.
Well, Thea Hale challenges Kiana James to a match, and we had that later in the night. We had Wesley and Tyler Bate meditating.
Why was it so smoky in that room?
I mean, incense.
Incense. Another type of smoke.
Wesley has a story with the smoke and Matt Riddle. You know what that smoke was, Glenn.
I think it was MSK smoke is what it was.
Yep.
Yes, and then the Dyad appeared out of nowhere and beat them down. And Joe Gacy and Ava walked in. And Gacy was like, your friendship will burn out. Like, what? Who do you think you are?
There was a lot of weird talking segments tonight that made no sense.
Yes. A little strange. Carmelo and Trick in the ring.
Respectfully.
Responding to Bron Breaker.
Can we talk about how they came out the car with both of them have their shirts off and Trick has belt undone?
Yes! I'm so glad I'm not the. I called it out of my watch. I was like, what were they doing in this car?
Hey, yo.
the NXT parking lot. Anything goes down there, you know? So
We're 1 month away from Pride Month. I have no problem with that. So if you want to celebrate early.
Well,
that's the first thing I noticed.
Gulak and Dempsey did say the life they live is totally different. The lifestyle.
Yes,
They button their pants when they drive. They wear shirts in cars.
I mean, the pants could have been buttoned when they started the drive. You know, we don't know.
Is that the new trend in the streets? Because I haven't heard of this trend of unbuttoning your belt and walking around. That hasn't gotten to me yet.
Calvin, $2 saying they were smoking the devil's lettuce.
They certainly were. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
There you go. But this response was good. Yeah, Dempsey and Gulak came out. They were getting Willy Wonka chants at Dempsey. And then they attacked Williams and Hayes. But Hayes and Williams were standing tall at the end.
Yeah, and set up a tag team match for later on the show.
Yeah, it's good.
The Willy Wonka chants cracked me up.
Hilarious.
What about...
Is this something organic? Did somebody come up with this, or is this just something the crowd has run with?
I have no idea. I think it's the first time that I actually noticed this chants.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, I have to admit, every time I've been where wrestling chants start, like somebody says it and then people will be like, that's clever. I would love it if someone had the history of the Performance Center in NXT, if every time someone started a chant and like nobody went along with it.
Do you want it on spreadsheets, Glenn?
Yeah, I would love to know what didn't catch on. Although my favorite ever is there was one time where there was just, I don't remember what the promo segment was. I think it was in NXT. And there was one guy that just went out, "This is awkward." That was probably my favorite failed chant. It worked better as a failed chant. What's up with Dijak and Dragonuv in this tonight? Holy shit.
That was some hostile stuff going on back there.
What was he doing with that nightstick? This was like I was uncomfortable by these vignettes.
50 Shades of Dragonuv is how I saw it.
This brutality that was happening.
I got 50 Shades of it. I got hostile. I got jigsaw. I got torture porn. There was a lot in those vignettes.
Yeah, so they kept coming back to this, and Dragonuv was like, I haven't begun. I can take everything you can dish out.
Yeah.
Pause. It was kind of like Deliverance. That's what I thought they were going next in terms of how they were building this up.
I don't think. I mean, maybe
First
HBK is. Yeah.
First of all, I'm sorry, but I had to talk about this before the torture porn started. We did get Dijak writing on a journal, and my question is this Apollo's journal? Did Apollo pass it down to Dijak now that he got called up because he doesn't need the journal, no longer in the main roster? I mean, you never know.
I would love to see Dijak's journal, and it starts halfway through, and the opening page is, well, for starters, everything that was written previously in this journal is bullshit. And we're gonna, if you're reading this, prepare for some hard justice.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is definitely Apollo's journal.
Yeah. In my mind and in my heart, it is. But so these were uncomfortable, and they like shot these all cinematically. They put effort into this. This was very uncomfortable. And I'm not even sure why.
What were you more uncomfortable by this or Trick Williams in the undone pants?
Okay, first off, sometimes on a long car ride, you want to, you got tight pants, you're sitting down, you're relaxed.
How far do you think they live from the Performance Center? How long was this car ride?
Yeah, they didn't drive from Boston.
I'm just saying sometimes your pants are a little tight and you need to like air some things out a little bit. You want to get some circulation.
Sure.
What made you more uncomfortable?
I think I have unbuttoned my pants on a car ride before.
Okay.
So Dijak would be then.
Dijak, because I'm not even sure what was happening.
Yeah.
And that made me more uncomfortable.
Alfred, what made you more uncomfortable?
This did make me slightly more uncomfortable than Trick Williams having his pants unbuttoned. I didn't think I could get more uncomfortable, but this challenged me, and they brought me over the hump of being uncomfortable. Because now I don't even see how they're going to do a match coming from out of this. I feel like this is the match.
This is the match. I just beat the crap out of you, like in some undisclosed location.
Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable.
Trick made you more uncomfortable then.
No, Trick never makes me uncomfortable.
No, it felt like it was pitched as a throwback to like one of the Boiler Room beatdowns in the Attitude Era, but they shot it like a saw. Like it looks.
I was waiting for Jigsaw, for the little puppet to come out in the little bicycle and say, "I want to play a game."
They shot it so seriously that helped sell it to a level that I was like, "Oh, this is actually a little unpleasant to watch."
I thought it was great. I enjoyed it, but I'm into that kind of stuff, you know.
It was outside of the box. I don't hate the attempt. It's not even like I hated the segment. I just thought it was weird.
It's just strange though, because the idea in NXT that in a professional wrestling company, instead of having a match or settling it in the ring, like I'm going to take you to a second location and torture you, seems they could settle this in the ring. They could have a fight. It just seemed a little.
It's too conventional in the ring.
Too conventional. But this wasn't a match. There wasn't a back and forth.
Maybe this was something that was written in the journal, and it was Dijak's job to see it through.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe it was Dijak's fantasy as he was writing in his journal. It came to life.
There you go.
You know,
I wish it was on Hostile things. Like that should be a gimmick where you kidnap people and people can bet to punish them. Hostile was a great movie.
I remember Hostile.
Right, Nick
so
Khan
good, so
and
good.
Say, Nick, if WWE and UFC is lacking anything, we need.
Come on, you put like, who has a super punchable face? Austin Theory. Somebody kidnaps Austin Theory, and then you just start saying, "Hey, you guys want to beat him up? Whatever you want to do, place your bets. Highest bets gets a shot." I love it.
I like it. That's good booking right there.
And then the was funny in the booking meeting, they go Issa, and then he breaks free and they have a match and he wins. They're like, no. They just keep torturing him, and then eventually he like dies of dehydration or something. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna fly. I don't know why that tickles me so. Thank you, Jeremy Howell. That's basically what this podcast is. This is what we do. We talk about the show.
We just do it publicly.
Yes. And we get paid for it. So everybody wins.
What a gig. What a gig.
Especially the audience. Audience, you win the most in this situation. I want you to remember that.
Do they?
They do.
They're the real MVP.
So we had Creed versus the Dyad. And Ivy and Ava getting into it a little bit.
Yeah.
That was cool. The crowd really popped for it, and it was a cool spot at the end. And I thought this match was cool. Talking about cool spots, that double 450 was really awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It took like 5 minutes to set up for it.
Yeah, they set up for it.
What?
The payoff was good. I really like this match. I mean, I'm not the biggest Dyad fan. I mean, Joe Gacy and Ava, I think, are great. But the Dyad, you could tell they clearly don't want to be there. They don't want to be there so much they asked for their release.
Well, you never know with this match. They worked their asses off in this match.
Yeah, they did a good job in this match.
Match ran a little long, even with that long, maybe a lot of it was that time they took to stall. But I thought it was a good match, and they could have cut some time off of it. But the finish was really good, and by the end of it, the crowd was really into it.
Yeah, it had a couple of really good finishing segments to end the match. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I can't help but to think how they still have the Diamond Mine graphics, and how Roderick Strong is now the father that went out for cigarettes on Diamond Mine and never came back.
Poor Roddy.
Poor Roddy. Poor kid. He left them.
I know he's torn up about it. He's torn up. He had to go to another promotion to try and dodge, supporting his kids.
Tiana James needs to be garnishing Roderick Strong's AEW wages so that he can pay that child support for the kids he left behind in NXT.
Well, Creed got the win tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great match. A little long, agreed, but great match. I mean, you did make a good point with the double 450 spot. Took forever to set up, but great finish. So it was like, foreplay for half hour to get like a whole minute of action, but that's literally what it equals to.
I mean, but is the juice worth the squeeze? I'm just gonna let that one hang there.
Oh, come on, answer the question. I want to know.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
It's pretty.
Or is the squeeze worth the juice?
Oh. Next up, we had Tony D'Angelo. Now, Tony D'Angelo, I could do an entire podcast. I could do an hour just talking about this segment.
He's the
Of
GOAT.
what we saw tonight. This was a return to fucking form. Part of my language. Tony D'Angelo's out there with Stacks.
What form is it returning to? Prison?
Well, let me talk about this a second.
It ruined Dominic Mysterio.
Tony's done time. Well, first off, Tony's got lawyers. D'Angelo family has lawyers on speed dial.
Oh yeah.
Speed dial even a thing? Yes, it is, because the D'Angelo family has it for their lawyers. So Tony D is out with Stacks. They're, glad handing one another, having a nice time. Tony looking sharp as hell in that white jacket with
Gorgeous.
the black lining on it.
Gorgeous.
So good. Like $1 million. Post-tax.
Adjusted for inflation.
Yes. Stacks has to go check on the shipment at the docks. Grease some.
There's a delay.
Yeah, I got to grease some palms with the Port Authority. There were details. Somebody watched a mob movie, took notes, or from memory wrote this promo.
Or maybe they just know that there's a big strike going on in Florida right now with the truck drivers, if I'm not mistaken.
Tony D, like Jimmy Hoffa, is going to settle that shit. Only unlike Jimmy Hoffa, he's going to survive.
And they're going to know where he is.
Stacks gets up, and Tony is sitting there trying to enjoy his meal when rudely 2 members of law enforcement flash their badges and want Tony to come down to the station for questioning.
Somebody snitch.
Yeah, who
Tony
snitched?
says,
That's what I want to know.
We make our donations. We make our contributions. Why are you wasting my time? But they need him to come down to the station. We never saw their faces, which is interesting. The cops.
Maybe they're undercover, Glenn.
So they can show their faces.
Yeah.
I have been wanting since day one of Tony D'Angelo a Donnie Brasco style undercover. Maybe it's Stacks. Oh my God, because Stacks wasn't there. What if Stacks is what if Stacks is?
What
Donnie...
if it was 2 dimes from the other side?
Oh, 2 dimes Brasco.
I
Donnie 2 dimes.
What if
Forget
it was pretty deadly? What if Pretty Deadly saw some suspicious things in that trunk? They survived.
They did. They have to be on the snitch suspect list in terms of people who could
definitely.
these are all great candidates.
We should create a snitch suspect list. 2 dimes is there. We have Pretty Deadly. Who else do we have on the snitch list?
Well, Johnny Gargano, just because he's Johnny Snitching, as you have aptly named him.
Yeah, 1,000%. He was always snitching. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely Johnny Gargano.
I just need to say this because it needs to be said. When we first saw the badges and heard one of the voices, for a second, I thought it might be Breeze and Dango, the fashion police.
Oh my
for a
God.
second.
Glenn, you gotta let it go.
I'll never let it go. Is it
It's
true
gonna
Breeze
take more than the fashion police?
Is it true Breeze is doing some stuff at the Performance Center, like some coaching or something?
I don't know. I know he was live on Twitch a little bit ago.
I've heard like intermittently that he comes by and he does like classes and stuff like that. I've heard.
Yeah, he's in 2K23 in the GM mode, still doing stuff with up, down, down. So I don't know, but okay. So the police took Tony. Stacks came back, was notified. I don't know. So many suspects. It's like a game of Clue. Who could it be? We have to wait till at least next week to find out. Very
If they
exciting.
put him in jail and they start selling free Tony D t-shirts, they're going to make
No, we need, please, everybody watching, go tweet out your support by using the hashtag #FreeTheDom. Thank you.
Free the Dom.
We need to, never mind. I was going to say.
We need to what? No, Glenn, you know the rules.
We need an
can start a
update.
sentence.
We have to call the station. We have to submit a Freedom of Information Act, a Sunshine Law request, and find out what the charges are.
I'm glad we're on the same page. I talked about it on my stream.
We need to go down to the courthouse and protest outside, just with free Tony D chants.
Yeah, I just hope that Tony's okay. I mean, if he needs some commissary money, he needs to hit us up. We got him.
You know what you should do, Issa? You should give Dominic a ring and do an interview. Prison expert Dominic could talk about perhaps some of the things Tony D's experiencing based on Dominic's extensive knowledge of the American justice system and being incarcerated.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And look at how much greater Dominic has come out of this situation. So you never know what kind of Tony we're going to see after this.
It's true. Kelvin R. Alexander, $2 saying your boy got pinched. Man.
Stay strong, Tony.
We love you, Tony. We got you.
So excited about this story.
I will pour one for Tony, but I don't waste alcohol like that. But we love you, Tony.
I try not to drink a full energy drink, so I always pour a little out at the beginning. Because 200 milligrams of caffeine is too many.
Good.
Tomorrow I'll do that in honor of Tony D'Angelo.
Please record it and then use the hashtag #FreeTheDom. Thank you.
Yes.
Pouring a little out for Tony D. Ah, man. This is so
I'll do
good.
it with my iced coffee in the morning, too.
Why would you waste iced coffee?
Because I'm not going to waste alcohol.
Well, I mean, another energy drink, you know?
Priorities, Glenn.
Yeah.
I don't drink energy drinks.
Why not take a shot? Then you don't have to pour it out. You could just take a shot in honor of the Don.
Okay. Free the Don.
Free the Don.
I hope Tony's okay. I do. And Stacks, man, where were you? You're supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's a little sketch.
Yeah, very sketch that he leaves and then the cops come on and he comes in acting stupid. I don't trust him. I trust nobody.
This is a very exciting storyline. This is more intriguing than anything going on Raw or SmackDown right now. This is the best story potentially in all of WWE.
Is Stacks in the Fredo? Would Stacks be Fredo? Because I'm not really up on my.
We don't know. We don't know what Stacks is in this case. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not a snitch, because you know what happens to snitches.
Oh yeah.
They cop a plea. They cut a deal and get a new life in Arizona under a new name.
Protection.
Why Arizona?
Wait a second.
I'd rather just do the time.
Wait a second. Didn't they say? Didn't they say that? Oh shit! I figured it out, guys. They said Stacks' uncle was Henry Hill from Goodfellas. He sold out the mob and went into witness protection, and then wrote Goodfellas. What if Stacks is taken after Uncle Henry?
Oh God!
And this is the same situation.
And did you notice that Stacks did not have a plate of food? Almost like he was planning that he wasn't going to be there. He was aware of what was coming. Tony had a plate of food because he didn't think this was going to happen. Stacks knew.
Now, in Stacks' defense,
you know what? Stacks is up on my high up in my list.
Number one suspect after this.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, Stacks could just be watching his carbs. You know, it's like, Tony, I can't eat pasta. It's a little heavy. I'm trying to shed, trying to get my abs to come through.
And he's fake Italian, which also makes him suspicious.
I'll go and I'll watch you eat. How about that? You know, and I'll sit
creepy.
there.
That's creepy.
It is kind of creepy.
Especially if he's looking him in his eyes while he's eating.
And Tony was looking sharp tonight too, so that would have gotten a little weird.
And Stacks is like, Tony,
and next thing you know, they're riding around in the car with no shirts on and pants undone.
And Stacks is like, Tony, since I can't eat it, I want you to eat it. I want you to describe it to me, what you're experiencing and feeling and how the pasta tastes.
That explosion in your mouth. I need to know what it
in vivid detail. I want to experience it vicariously through you.
Wow.
As I sit here staring at you.
Wow, Glenn. This took a turn. This took a turn.
And Stacks is like, I'm not going to take a bite. I want to take a bite. Just bring let me just bring the plate in your head. I just want to get a whiff. Let me just smell it. I'm going to just imagine I'm eating the pasta, and then you go back to doing this.
That would be hot. Is that what you want?
You're into that, Alfred? You watch people eat at Applebee's? Is that why you love Applebee's?
Yeah, that's my kink.
No, actually,
what's your favorite meal to watch somebody eat, Alfred?
Oh, definitely the mozzarella sticks. Slow.
With the cheese?
Oh, I'm close.
Oh my God.
If you can't tell, I'm on a diet. I've been watching what I eat the past few months, and I swear to God, you know how I know when I'm eating well is I start having dreams about eating bad food in my dreams, and I feel guilty about the dream eating.
I had a dream I was pet sitting a buffalo.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Who's Buffalo? Do you know who owned this buffalo?
I don't know whose buffalo it was.
Was it friendly at least? Did it let you touch him?
No, it killed my dog, but my dog
God.
wasn't Roman. It was a different Roman. It was a crazy dream. And I come home and nobody wanted to tell me that Roman was no longer with us. What the hell? It was a crazy dream, but it was a big black buffalo. It was mean. I never seen a buffalo in my life. I think maybe it's like I need to go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Or Buffalo, New York.
No, Buffalo Wild Wings.
or listen to the song Buffalo Stance by Nana Cherry, which is still a banger 35 years later.
Still, I'm not forgetting about the topic here. Stacks.
Yes, I know.
Make a good case. See, now I'm not going to trust Stacks anytime I see him.
No, and nobody should be trusted right now. That lady in the restaurant, she wasn't around anywhere. So why when Stacks came in, she was like, "Oh, he left with the police officers." How'd she know? Don't trust her either.
So stay tuned to see what happens there. Julius Creed for the challenge. Yes. Julius Creed. Oh, is Tony tweeted? Is he out yet? Do we know?
Should I DM him on Instagram?
You should, and just be like, "Did you make bail?"
An update. Let him know that we're concerned about him.
Oh, this is tough. His one of his last tweets, April 25th, was, "Where's the evidence? Nobody saw nothing." Don't tweet that, Tony. It doesn't make you look innocent.
That's a rookie mistake.
Yeah, and that was a couple weeks ago. That they could get a warrant on that.
First of all, he should have never tweeted that. Second of all, he should have tweeted something very random and changed the GPS, put a VPN on your phone, and then you change the GPS and tweet it from a different location. So that way, when the tweet goes out, you'll be like, "I didn't do it. Look where I was. I have a tweet. It shows where I was at." And then that way, you can at least avoid. It gives you enough time to at least get away. Not that I've done this before.
What in the fuck are you doing, Issa?
That should be in the DM.
Listen, I'm one with the streets, okay?
So, Creed challenged Gallus to an NXT Tag Team Championship match at Battleground. Noam Dar had Dragon Lee on the Supernova sessions. And
wait, I like that tweet. I'm not liking it. I don't want to be involved in this freaking.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So Noam Dar bought an intro to Spanish book. He could have just taken Duolingo, like I've been. I'm on like day 118. Noam Dar.
And he spent $20 on that. What $20? Duolingo.
Duolingo. I think it's like $80 for the year or something like that.
Yeah, you got a better deal.
Yeah, it's good. And every day I got a streak going and I'm learning. It's working. But Dragon Lee speaks English. So Noam Dar was out there challenging him and bragging about the Heritage Cup. Lee saying he wanted to defend it. Nathan Frazier came out. We had an Alicia Fox reference, which is pretty dope. And Dar accepted Lee's challenge. And then Frazier is going to go one-on-one with Noam Dar next week. This is good.
It's great. Noam Dar is unbelievable. I think he's a great character. I think he's a good heel. He did everything that a heel did. He just came off as a little bit problematic, a little bit racist, but this character was so good in terms of him with this cup. And as much as I do like Dragon Lee, and Dragon Lee's still new, I don't want Noam Dar losing this cup. I want him to keep it. I think he cherishes it the way you should cherish any type of championship. And this is one of my new favorites in NXT right now. I don't know where this guy has been and why they didn't let him talk as much when he was, whether it's 205 Live or on WWE TV, but I think he's a good character.
Well, I like Dragon Lee. I thought I was watching this segment and I couldn't help but to notice how comfortable that couch looked. He even had a throw blanket in there. I was like, man, I will fall asleep so fast in that couch. I like Dragon Lee. I thought he came out pretty good. He looked very good here. I like the segment. I'm looking forward to both of these matches.
This was good. I understood.
I'm not as high on whatever his name is, the Supernova guy, as you guys are, but I like Dragon Lee. Yeah.
I understood Dragon Lee when he said 2EO. And I auto-completed that Timbirici lyric, and I was like, 2EO, tenemos un problema. But yeah, this was dope. I really like this. And then after this, when we saw Noam Dar backstage, we'll talk about that because there's some light continuity there.
Oh no, dark continuity. It was very dark continuity.
You can say that. I can't say that, but you can say that.
You were setting me up for that. I know you're doing.
And I couldn't believe they did it. Like, I actually was just like, this is actually amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, like this is where I feel like NXT is rewarding me for watching NXT all these years and 205 Live and just everything. You know, continuity, like the MCU. So Carmelo and Trick Williams versus Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. Carmelo and Trick getting a win pretty easily here, although decent length match.
Yeah, pretty good. Trick looked really good in this match. I think he's getting a lot better. And I like that the finish where Trick had to block Drew Gulak, so it made it seem like a real actual tag team match was good.
Yeah, I couldn't help but to think, man, if Carmelo and Trick are going to stay in NXT for a while, you can give them a run for the tag team titles. I think they work well together. The more I see Trick in the ring, the more you can see how much he's improving, and working with Melo has really helped him. He's got the mic skills. So these are some of the cases of people that benefit from staying in NXT and not getting called up too soon. I love this match. Yeah, I was all up for it. I thought it was fun.
It's good.
And it was the perfect length compared to that one that I thought the tag team match earlier was probably the match of the night, but I really did think it was too long, where this one just felt like it flowed beautifully and it ended when it needed to.
So Carmelo and Trick won. Then they called out Bron Breaker, but Bron,
the disrespect.
He stopped at the barbershop to get a cut, and I was just distracted. What is up with the the bald spot in the middle of his mustache?
I think that's a genetic thing. Some people, I actually think Scott Steiner had one of those things.
Yeah, I couldn't take my eyes off
I've seen it
that.
on some people. They just can't, just the same way some people can connect the goatee. Like some people just had the bald spot in different places.
All I know is that when this beard finally comes in, it's going to be incredible.
Of course,
you should just keep growing it out. You're not going to shave it all?
No. I mean, I've been working on it 20 years now, but any day now, work in progress is going to be complete.
By 2044, it's going to be lit.
Yeah.
Wait, were we not disrespected by this guy being at the barbershop? Because I was.
Okay.
Everyone there seemed very uncomfortable with his presence. Did he broach some sacred space?
I don't understand what the problem is. They treated it like he had just showed up at Carmelo Hayes' house or something. Like they were going to zoom out and he was going to be somewhere inappropriate. He's just supporting a black-owned business. I have no problem with this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I have a problem with it.
It's open to the public.
You can tell by the way that he cuts his hair that this is not the kind of. This guy goes to supercuts. Okay, he got no business here. He got no business here. He can go back to supercuts.
My problem was when he came back from the barbershop to imply that the barbers, he didn't have the edges or anything, to imply that he got that haircut at a black barbershop. That's my problem.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He's clearly a supercuts guy. You can tell.
I think we're doing some important dialogue here about relations between different cultural groups. And I have to say, as a white man with thick hair, I think about going to a black-owned barbershop all the time.
Well, you should.
You should. They welcome you in.
That's great to know. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to find one here in Las Vegas, and I'm going to go there and be like,
Las Vegas, yeah.
I feel like I feel with my hair type. I feel like this place is calling me.
I think you should, and I think you should share your report back on this podcast.
Yeah,
and I'm going to ask for a fade, because let me tell you, at Supercuts, I've been asking for a fade, and they never really do a fade there. They'll do a blend, but not a fade.
You're asking too much, Glenn. You're asking too much from these people.
At Supercuts?
Yes.
I've brought them photos of haircuts before, and they approximate it, but they never do an exact copy.
They're not about that life, Glenn. They're just trying to get over their shift and go home.
It's true. But yeah, they were treating it, and everyone there looked so like scared. And I was like, there's like 6 dudes here.
Yeah.
Why are they afraid of one Bron Breaker?
Because he's got that dog in him, Glenn.
I don't know, man.
I was disrespected by this. I don't need uncool Bron Breaker in the barbershop. It's not about like anything like Carmelo Hayes' house or black owned. No. He's not hip enough to be hanging out at these kind of places. He hasn't proven to me to be that cool. So I'm not allowing him there yet.
Hip or no hip, we'll take your money. We need to keep money in the black community. It lasts only 6 hours in the black community. It needs to stay there. So we'll take your money, Bron.
You and I both know, Alfred. I know you're gonna defend him because he's like your favorite of all time. He didn't pay no money.
They better have gotten some money out of him somehow.
They were scared of him. They were scared of him. They were gonna ask him for money. You can see all of them were petrified.
I
At
think
the
Bron's
sight
good.
of Bron Breaker, jeez.
Maybe they thought it was physically impossible for a white person to walk into that barbershop. They're like, how are our security detectors not working?
They had those lasers and he did that Mission Impossible thing. They were like, oh my God, how did he do that?
Kiana James defeated Thea Hale with Duke Hudson just sort of half-ass and paying attention.
It's finals week. He was finishing his essay for. I can't blame Duke Hudson for being preoccupied. I thought Thea Hale looked great in the ring, though.
She's awesome. Her energy,
her facial expressions when she sells, so good.
Man, like I wanted her to win this. I think she could go on an amazing run in it. Like she could be. I hate to say somebody's the next somebody, but she could be like Bailey on Red Bull if they play this right. You know what I mean? She could be just like this amazing, like monster, literally monster energy drink babyface.
I think it's more than an energy drink, but
these kids in college, their stories you hear all the time.
Is that another Magic 8-Ball reference on this show?
I don't think it's that. I think it's something a little more prescription. Although it would be funny, again, if it turns out that she's just like, I didn't grow up having caffeine or sugar, and somebody gave me like pixie sticks, and I'm just really amped up.
That would be a good premise also if they turn this into like an after-school special at Chase U where she gets addicted to pixie sticks.
Wait. No, pixie sticks. So it could be like the Saved by the Bell episode?
Yes, with sugar pills.
Amazing.
I have a friend who swears they went to a rave and did ecstasy in the 90s. And I'm like, how do you even know it was ecstasy? Somebody probably just gave you like, like some fun dip and was like, here's some X. They probably just ripped you off and you were out there dancing like an idiot thinking, I'm on ecstasy. This is amazing.
What if they gave him a caffeine pill?
Yeah, seriously.
They're all hype and I never felt this kind of energy. It was just a caffeine pill.
Yeah. I think if you're at a rave and somebody tells you they're giving you ecstasy, you're
it's not
ecstasy. To believe them. Yeah. But no, I thought Thea's great. Kiana James, whatever, she won this. Good on her. But Thea Hale, man, if they start booking her, I think. Wait, so where's Andre Chase? He's still in like depression, exile, or something.
I don't know what happened, but now would be it's graduation season right now. So I'm waiting on a Chase U graduation style type segment that they can do.
Yeah, but Kiana James has some serious potential. I hope they really give her, or not Kiana James, Thea Hale has some serious potential. I hope they really give her a push. But I like the idea of Kiana James trying to take over Chase U, have a fun sort of like major league type storyline where she comes in. Maybe he's like, our test scores are too low. Gets a little like lean on me style, like makes them be harder on the students. There's a lot they could do with this,
Yep.
If they wanted to go the Leon on me route, they would bring in Dragon Lee.
Could you imagine if WWE did a lean on me storyline?
I wouldn't want it in WWE's hands, I'll tell you that.
Which, if you haven't seen that movie, watch it now and think about how some of that stuff would fly in today's climate.
Yeah. Still a great movie, man.
It is a great movie. I love that movie. Okay. Hale hugged Hudson as he continued to mark papers. He's checked out. He's got his tenure. He doesn't care anymore.
Senioritis, man. He's ready to graduate.
Yes. Wesley and Tyler Bate were being checked in the medical room as Mackenzie Mitchell stood by, trying to figure out why Schism attacked. And then Wesley came out, and Joe Gacy and Ava appeared. And they're setting up this match for Battleground. Tyler Bate appears. So it's going to be a triple threat. Joe Gacy is it's amazing. This is peak Joe Gacy for seeing him. I feel like we see him a ton, but I feel like the writing on him just keeps getting weaker and weaker. Where it's just jibber jabber at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually very impressed with what they did with Tyler Bate here. Instead of making him the stupid baby face, I'm going to root for my friend, be like, hey, I respect you. I'm your buddy, but I also am trying to go for this title. Turn it into a triple threat. There's nothing I hate more than the baby face coming out to hype their champion friend, where it's like, if I can get a shot at it, why not? It will only make sense. So I actually really thought that Tyler Bate was great here.
Yeah.
I like the segment. I like the in-ring. It was weird because I didn't think the backstage segment was very good at all. I didn't think Wesley was good in that backstage segment, but I thought he was great, especially after Tyler Bate told him that he wanted a shot at that title. I thought he was great at acting like he had been betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier, a couple of things, promo segments that happened tonight. JC Jane commented about stuff with Gigi. That ain't over. Then we had Noam Dar backstage talking to Last Legend and Miss Jackson.
Yeah, Noam. I see you, Noam. Noam's gonna show up in that barbershop next.
Yeah, but lashing out, possibly coming back. I was excited for that.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny how they had her doing it though, where she's like, "Oh, we got the Grayson Waller effect now on SmackDown. Everybody's got a talk show. What about my?" I mean, like that was good. That was a good way.
Do we think that Tony D'Angelo putting that producer? Maybe that's the number one suspect for snitching. What happened to that producer? We never know.
Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also going on my list.
Yeah. So where will Noam Dar show up next? Tune in to find
Roscoe's.
out.
Oh my god.
But yeah, good continuity there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what it's like though, to be honest? It's like he's been doing this cup thing, and Alicia Fox apparently just got released like 2 weeks ago from her Legends deal. It's like that put a light bulb off, and somebody just remembered that storyline, and then was like, I know what we should do. And one backstage chatting up Lash. Yeah. Noon Mountain with the important question: is Noam Dar invited to the cookout?
I mean, hide your wives, but yeah, sure. Hide your aunties. Hide your aunties.
So, so we're gonna have that triple threat with Wesley at Battleground on May 28th. Von Wagner was backstage and talking to Mr. Stone. Oh, I can't believe they're doing this still. Stone pulls out that picture of Von as a kid, asks him if he's ready to confront the picture. Are you ready to confront the picture?
They're getting a lot of mileage out of this, and I don't know if they're getting mileage out of this or if they're just like stringing it along.
The real life Von Wagner's real life story, I would love to learn about that. I think if treated respectfully, it's good. But the way they're forcing this is the new Matt Morgan stutter. Like we need to give you this adversity. Like it's very important the audience knows you're overcoming adversity and some issues. And I think that it's exploiting something that's real and that they're not treating with the sensitivity it deserves. And it's weird how Robert Stone is like, clearly he doesn't want to talk about it. If this was made up, that's one thing, but it's weird they're doing this based on a real life thing and be like, could you imagine like with Gigi Dolan, if before all this happened, JC Jane every week was like, hey, do you want to talk about your terrible upbringing and your mother and all these terrible things? When are you ready? You know what I mean? It feels very insensitive.
I mean, is this based on real life with Von Wagner? And I mean, I don't feel like they're exploiting it just by saying that they want him to talk about it. I mean, if they go a certain direction with it, yeah, quite possibly. But
I'm assuming it's if this is all kayfabe in a creation and whatnot, but I'm assuming this is a real life story. I'm inferring that this is a real thing. It's very. I think they would have been better off having him do a promo or an interview and talk about this and do it that way rather than have Robert Stone, his manager, like hassling him about it.
Right. Agreed.
I am interested in the story behind this for what it's worth. It's just, I don't know if I'm wait 3, 4, 5 weeks interested. It's like, okay, just let me know now. Like, I don't want to wait anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
Roxanne Perez versus JC Jane quarterfinals match for the NXT Women's Championship tournament with Roxanne Perez getting the win.
Also predictable, but great match.
Yeah.
This was good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they have a clean finish and then Gigi came out for the attack instead of just doing what you could have done, which was Gigi costing JC the match. They still let Roxanne get that win. But yeah, it was a fun match. It was a little slow and a couple of miscommunication spots in the beginning, but it ended up they turned it around and it was great at the end.
Yeah.
So Tiffany Stratton's came out to stare down Roxanne, so they're going to face each other in the semis.
Correct.
That'll be good.
I really thought they were going to be the final two.
I know they did the brackets very weird. Very weird.
Yeah. I mean, Tiffany's got to win this,
I
right?
feel the bracket on the other side, it was always Cora, no matter what. Like when you looked at it, where the bracket, I had Roxanne, I had Tiffany. So that side, I wasn't too sure who was gonna win. Where I don't know, I feel like Cora was gonna go to the finals on the other side of the bracket, no matter what. I'm excited for Roxanne and Tiffany Stratton next week.
Yeah. See, Joseph saying Roxanne versus Cora in the finals is predictable. I feel like, I know we don't want two heels in the finals, but man, Tiffany Stratton on a bit of a streak. And then
you could do Tiffany and Lyra and give us a whole fresh matchup.
True. Yeah.
I mean, Cora has taken a couple of losses here, so
yeah.
And they're both like newly minted heels and just like aggressively heel. It's not like one of them is like the type of heel who gets cheered by the audience or is kind of a cool heel. They're both like very aggressive heels. So it'd be a very weird pairing.
Mm-hmm. And then Gigi Dolan ambush JC. So I'm assuming Gigi and JC are going to have their final blow off on this at Battleground. On this feud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, precisely.
Where Gigi gets her massive babyface win.
I don't know, man. I feel like JC might have the edge there if you've been on Gigi's IG stories lately.
Wait, what?
She's been tweeting it seemingly that she misses her old character, and some people are wondering whether or not she wants out.
Or Gigi has.
Gigi has, yes. She the former Priscilla Kelly.
Wait, her old character in NXT or old character on the
Indies? On the Indies.
Well, maybe we'll get another one of those memorable spots again at NXT Battleground.
Yeah? Well, what memorable spots? You're talking about when...
Wait, you don't remember the Priscilla Kelly memorable spot?
Oh, okay. That memorable spot. Is that what you want to see? Can the kids watch that?
That would be an amazing way to be like going out, fingers in the sky, like I'm back
somewhere else too.
But that spot, I mean, for better or worse, that's one of the most talked about spots in indie wrestling. I was going to say female indie wrestling, but indie wrestling as a whole.
Yeah. The indies will have like a handful of spots every year that really are polarizing and generate a lot of debate. Like the Luigi Pizza spot's one of those. They had the dog wrestling's one. And then Gigi Dolan doing what she did with, well, we don't have to describe it.
Yes. The band L7 did the same thing back in the early 90s. And later that night, Pearl Jam played and dedicated the song Even Flow to them. So Kelvin R. Alexander, $5. Saying, I'd love to see Cora versus Tiffany, and Cora screws her turning face.
I think it's too early for Cora to turn face. Either of them turning face. I think it's way.
Cora was face, and like when she was doing the skater girl thing, that was a really boring gimmick.
Yeah,
she was
much better.
Super boring. So Carmelo and Trick confronted Bron Breaker in the main event tonight. Tons of security guards standing between them.
Yeah, not that it mattered.
They all were dressed exactly like Bron too, almost. I mean, he had a tank top, show off those guns, but it was hard to keep up with who was Bron and who's the security once it all broke down.
They were all one. When two become one.
You know what I thought initially is when the security started walking out, a couple of them were brothers. So I was like, what, did he convert the barbershop people to security? Like, what?
I thought the same thing. Alfred.
That would be amazing, but yeah. So cool though with the spot with flying over the security guards with Hayes.
I mean, yeah, they had to kind of run up. It was kind of premature, so it was a little scary, but they did catch him.
You got to meet him halfway.
Yeah.
That's the key, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Carmelo Hayes did get a little bit of offense on there on Bron Breaker. I mean, we've seen Bron Breaker destroy him for a couple of weeks in a row, but Bron still got a couple in. So, but at least we did see Carmelo Hayes kind of get some.
New Mountain saying, cult leader Bron.
Big bad booty Bron.
Hey, but he drives
Bad Booty Breaker was my favorite one.
Bad Booty Breaker.
Yeah.
Bet he drives with his pants buttoned up.
Yeah.
I I'm glad Battleground's coming up because I can't take them stretching this on longer. Braun needs to be on the main roster like yesterday.
I like this new Braun. I'm having fun with him. I think, as long as he wants to stay in NXT, I think we should enjoy him. But the one thing I don't like about this feud is Bron Breaker repeatedly saying he does not want the NXT title. It's kind of telegraphing that the finish he's not going to win, or he'll lose maybe in a fluky way and then just destroy Carmelo. And then also it buries the title. It's your world title. And I don't like the former world champion saying he doesn't want this title back.
If he doesn't want the title back, then he needs to just start taking people backstage and punishing them like Dijak. Like, why are you in the ring then?
Yeah. This was a good main segment. I think Battleground's going to be good. But, man, they got – you know what they need, though? I mean, here's the thing. WWE. Let me explain something to you. Let me break it down. TK, Vince, Pop H, Sean, I know you pay attention to this podcast. If you're going up against AEW, like, there's no respectable way of the samurai to do that. Like, oh, we're just going to put on the best show and you put on the best show and may the best wrestling promotion win, yada, yada. Like, we need some main roster people. You got to heat some of this up. We need some spectacle. Like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to go head to head, go head to head. Don't just put something on the air while they put something on the air and hope you pull a respectable number. Where is the glitz? Where's the razzmatazz with this? You know?
I think they're just doing it to be petty.
But I'm saying be petty. Be petty. Why aren't Isla Dawn and Alba Fire defending their NXT Women's Tag Team Championships against like Damage Control or something? Like, why aren't they doing something to get some more main roster eyeballs on this product if they're going head to head with AEW?
It is a weird thing because on one hand, yes, they're going head to head with AEW, but they don't want to go all the way in because they don't want to make it. Because if they do get beat, or if it's perceived that AEW does better,
no one knows.
They don't want the perception of
ratings.
they beat our A stars. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Peacock numbers are probably like, just do something. Let's just get a couple more eyeballs. Let's get some headlines, because right now, if you're not watching NXT, why are you tuning into the show? We need some new eyes on this. We need to do something fresh, you know?
Yeah.
They're just trying to play it cool, or as cool as you can be if you are actually going head to head. They don't want to make it look like they're desperate or that they feel that they need to send their main roster stars on NXT. Whereas the only time NXT really ever did beat AEW head to head when they were doing the Wednesday Night Wars was when they had main roster stars on NXT.
I'm not saying book John Cena and
he can't go no more.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying book Brock on this,
He's
but
busy finishing the story that Cody can't.
But let's do
Cody's a better story than everybody combined.
If we're learning anything from this, it's that Cody has trouble finishing.
Hey, yo.
Maybe he should unbutton his pants while he drives.
Okay, not only do they need to sell Trick Williams' unbuttoned pants, they should also sell the story to Cody Rhodes' never-ending story. I buy that book.
It's an encyclopedia at this point, bro. We've been writing this thing forever.
Hey, what are you talking to me about that for? It's WWE's booking that they think that they should have that fake belt on Roman Reigns. I said they should have ended this story. Philadelphia does not this ending. It's Philadelphia. They'll probably boo the ending like they booed Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, like they boo everything else.
Sure, Alfred.
After this week's episode of Succession, is the name Roman too toxic in popular culture?
No, I think Roman's toxic peak was in season 2.
I don't know.
Wait, did you watch this week?
Toxic was the TikTok that Roman posted today. That is toxic behavior right there. That man is a savage.
Roman Reigns?
Yeah, go check out the TikTok he posted. No, don't check it out, Alfred. It'll trigger you.
No, I'll check it out. I might be in the comment section for that one.
There you have it, folks. That was NXT. Alfred said this is nasty. He says NYC Demon Diva. That's Steve with the one. I'm at Glenn Rubenstein. Tomorrow night, AEW coverage. Friday night, we're back for SmackDown. Is Rampage even on Fridays anymore? I guess we're not covering it anymore.
Is it on this Friday? No, the Go Home show is next Saturday.
Yeah, I think the one next week is live, if I'm not mistaken. So that one should be a
from
good
Vegas.
one. But
okay.
I don't know what they'll announce it on Wednesday. They'll be like, "Hey, Rampage live Monday at 9 a.m." I don't even know when they do it.
Okay, there you have it, everybody. Have a good one. We'll get you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc.